Today we're gonna start by cleaning the sled, and then I have a bunch of parts that I got between last year and then some stuff this year that I wanna put on it to make it my own. Some are sponsored parts, so I'll be able to discuss those. Some are just things that I wanted to add myself, so I'm excited to dig into it. I'm excited to show the installation process a little bit, and then just overall make the sled my own. So we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna wash it first because there's still some like mud and stuff in the skid from the end of last season. Then once it's clean, we're gonna put it in the garage and probably start with my new MTNside Products offset high-rise spindles. Alright, so this is all the stuff that's going to be going on the sled this season. A lot of this stuff I got last year, a little bit of it I got towards the end of last year, but pretty much haven't picked anything up since then. And first off is the Curve XS skis. I made a video on these last year explaining the model, all the options. So I'm excited to put those on. The color looks really great with the Boost Assault. Next up, I have a 2-inch CFR Nux riser in black. So it's gonna be a little bit shorter than stock. I found for myself that when I'm standing, I feel really comfortable on the Assault, but when I'm sitting, I feel like my hands are up a little too high. So just gonna drop it down a little bit. Hopefully give me that perfect ratio of sitting and standing ergonomics. For the bars, I went with a black Turcotte bar. Excited to try these out. They are the wider bar, so you have to take out the sleeves that are in the CFR Nux riser. I just thought with how much black is on the sled, as you guys can see, like you got the black tank, you got the black in the side panels, all that. I thought getting rid of the silver on the bars and going with black would look really cool. Kind of set it apart, and I've always just felt like getting rid of that silver is, you know, ideal if you can. So we were lucky enough to be able to work with Fast Track traction this season. I'm doing a 3 per row setup with a double backer, single backer mixed throughout the entire track. These are all the studs. Excited after multiple seasons with just big lug tracks to go back to studs, especially on this sled. I think it definitely is ideal for getting the maximum amount of traction from it. And I haven't tried it in a while, so I figured it'd be a good thing to try out. These I also picked up last year. These are MTNside Products offset high-rise spindles. So the reason I'm excited for those is I think that the high-rise is going to kind of give me a little bit more handling, as far as if you've ever seen the Polaris cross-country sleds, they have a high-rise spindle on them. So I'm excited to try these out and see if there's some performance gain there. Obviously, being an offset spindle, that's awesome when we're, you know, playing in our like off-trail spots. It's nice to have the skis a little narrower, or if it's a big powder day and we get out on the lake. Usually I set the sled up narrow for those rides, and just makes it easier to get it up on edge and that sort of thing. This is the Arctic FX, I forget the exact name, but it's a windshield wrap. I haven't decided for sure if I'm gonna put it on yet, but I picked it up last year. It was pretty cheap, and you know, it's an American-made sled, so why not rep America a little bit on it? But like I said, we'll see if I end up putting that on. First thing I'm gonna do is the spindles. Obviously, if I did the skis, I'd have to take them back off to swap out the spindles. So we're gonna start with the spindles and then go from there. Spindles, skis, probably studs, and then I think Josh and I are gonna get together because he has a set of aftermarket bars and risers he wants to put on his sled. So we'll get together and we will put them on at the same time. I think that'd be a kind of a cool video. So pro tip when you're doing this, start loosening all the bolts on the spindles before you take the skis off. Just kind of gives you more leverage. You can hold the ski with your foot as you're kind of loosening everything up. If you take the skis off, like if you have a lift like I do, it's really hard to get leverage. It's like it's all tippy and all that. So definitely loosen everything first, put it up, take the skis off, and then go from there. So I have to be totally honest, these new spindles that are basically axis spindles but just shaped a little better are a nightmare to get on and off. As you can see down here, there's like this crossover part, and it kind of protrudes out so you can't get a socket on there. So I'm stuck trying to use wrenches, and it's just such a nightmare. Same with the top, you can't go in through the outside anymore with a wrench because there's this little lip. There's a little lip in here. So you have to loosen them with wrenches by opening up the ski from the inside and then coming in this way with a wrench. I don't know why Polaris did this. It just makes the job 10 times harder. Also that they can be a little more aesthetically pleasing, but the exact same spindles that were on the Axis. So I'm gonna keep messing with this. Hopefully, I have the 2 top bolts on each side broken loose right now, but I'm still struggling with the middle bolt, and then I gotta get the tie rod off on the back, so it's been fun. So to get to this point, I just got the bolt kind of started and then jiggled the ski around until I got it through enough. As you can see here, it's not actually quite lined up yet. So I'm gonna show you guys kind of a trick to get it lined up. So the 2 things that worked really well for me for getting the other ski on was I used a 4x4 and I put it under the edge of the ski. It kind of pushes it up as I lower it down onto it. And then I take this screwdriver and I lift up on it and it aligns the hole and you just hit the bolt through the mallet and usually it slides right through right as this screwdriver pops right out. So I'll show you guys how to do that now. Just like that. And obviously if you get curved skis, that's gonna be helpful with that, but if you get any other brand, like even CNAs and stuff, fit really tight like that. So it'll help you get those on too. Pretty much any aftermarket ski has really tight saddles on it. And if you're going through and using impact, just make sure that these are actually tight. Yeah, I got a good twist out of that, so. All right, so there's the finished product. Definitely added some height in the front. The big perk with these is they are, number 1, an offset spindle. So I had this on my last Polaris Assault. You can go from 42.5 inches wide. At this point, it's 41.5 inches wide, center to center. And then if you put them both on the inside of the ski, that puts it down to 40.5 inches wide. The other big advantage to these high-rise offset spindles are they're 1 3/8 inches taller than the factory spindles. So I'll show you guys that now. If I line that up with the ski, you can see the difference. So the big thing I'm excited about there is it kind of brings it more in line with the cross-country race sled spindles. So I'm excited to see how that makes the sled perform. Then I have my Curve Industries XSM skis. So these used to be their mountain skis, but now they're like crossover ski. The cool thing about these is they have this tapered tail. So if you were to put this on the outside of the ski, it helps you get the sled on edge more easily. So like the days that we're playing off trail or we get, you know, big, deep lake effect snow, I can swap the skis left to right and then it'll make it easier to get on edge. But right now, the way it is with the wider tail, it makes it more stable in the turns. And early in the season, that makes more sense for the riding we're doing because we won't have deep snow until probably like late January, early February. Track sits nice and flat, so I was a little concerned about that, but it all looks fine. You can still see at the back, the tipped up rails doing their job, so you can still see that little bit of curve at the back. So obviously if I have to make some suspension adjustments, I will, but for now everything seems good and definitely excited to try it. The other thing I want to mention is make sure you guys do your alignment afterwards. I already did it, but it just takes forever to film and it's super boring, so I didn't put it in this video. I have done it in the past, so I'll link that video down below and in this video itself. But if you want like a really in-depth version of that, definitely check out Jesse James 322. His video on it is awesome. This is part 1 of the build. I did the spindles and the skis. Next I'm gonna do the studs, and then after that I will do the riser and handlebars. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next one.